Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for January 25th. Currently looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair. This particular pair created an inside bar during today's market action. It did fill the gap, however. It is moving sideways with a bias slightly to the downside. We are looking for it to potentially hit some resistance around 90.50, possibly hitting some support around 89.75. Okay, now let's take a look at the Euro-USD pair. This pair closed lower, did fill its gap as well. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias that is sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 142.59, possibly as low as 140.59. Look for some resistance around 141.95, and look for some support around 140.64. Okay, now checking out the pound US dollar pair, had a pretty large range, did fill its 10 pip gap as well, moved much higher, is moving sideways with a bias that is sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 163.47, possibly as low as 159.97. Look for some resistance around 163.00, and look for some support around 161.25. Okay, now the US Swiss. This particular pair has moved lower the third day in a row, pulling back. We are looking for it to continue this move sideways with a bias to that is sideways as well. Look for it to potentially go as high as 104.76, possibly as low as 103.17. Look for some resistance around 104.50, and look for some support around 103.50. As far as news announcements goes, at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the pound releasing their their GDP for the fourth quarter. Consensus is things have improved from a negative 0.2% to a 0.4%. Overall, year-to-date, moving from a negative 5.1% to a negative 3%. So overall, this could be good news for the pound. We also have the U.S. releasing their consumer confidence report for January at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that things have improved from 52.9 to 53.5. This isn't a very large news announcement for the U.S., but it is could be significant as far as if the numbers come out at that or a little bit higher. Now the calendar has the Euro releasing the German CPI at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is things have improved from 0.9% to 1%. And last but not least, we have the Australian dollar releasing their CPI for the year at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is that things have moved higher from 1.3% to a solid 2%. So hopefully that'll come in. All these numbers point to improvement across the board, across those four currencies. So hopefully we'll get that and they will all strengthen. Well, as far as what I'm looking at during this next session, we have the U.S. Swiss, or the U.S. Japanese yen pair rather. If you look on the 4-hour time frame, you can see this large drop that occurred. But since then, we've had a pretty solid narrowing from that. Definitely looking for this to continue. Basically looking for a breakout from this. The area that I'd look for if it breaks to the upside would be about here, to the downside right about here. Look for it to potentially hit some resistance around this point, and if it does move higher, look for it to go ahead and tag this area. So if we clean that up just a little bit, maybe we can get a clearer vision of the numbers that you want to look for. And of course, when we have consolidation breakouts, it's not always exact, but we can do our best to draw trend lines to get a very good idea as to where things could go, where they potentially could go, and where you need to look for these this pair as far as moving to the upside or the downside. There's some good numbers for you. Looking for a breakout to the upside. Looking for at least 10 pips, 15 pips between the breakout over the trend line and the possible first area of resistance. Next possible area of resistance, a good 70 pips or so higher. to the downside. Not quite as much room, but still looking for a decent amount of pips. To the downside, looking first area about 16, second area about 24, and I'm sure if we back out we can see a little bit lower area of potential support that could be hit later on down the line. There you go, about the 89.55, 89.37 mark. So just keep these levels in mind. Watch the market. If it continues to consolidate down, you can adjust your trend lines accordingly, but these are the areas of resistance and support I would definitely look for. That pretty much sums it up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.